So, if you're interested to find out the latest forecast and analysis on the gold USD spot market, stay tuned, it's coming. Biggest event this week was the Fed rate hike. Jerome Powell, head of the Fed, announced a whopping 25 basis point increase in the federal funds rate. You can see that rates have been increased from 0.25 all the way to half a percentage point. Now, in theory, this should slow down demand for goods and taps the brakes on inflation. But my question is this half or quarter of a percentage point increase going to do anything with a whopping 8% inflation? If we go back in history, you can see that this quarter of a percentage point increase is absolutely meaningless. It equals to a fart of a butterfly. It does nothing. But what does it mean for gold traders? In order to find answers, we have to go back to the last time when they started raising interest rate since the big financial crisis in 2008. And that was the day on the 16th of December 2015 when they started to increasing the interest rate. Now, this rate hike, you can see on the chart, was not necessary. It was more of a strategic defense in case if anything happens in the global or the US economy. At least they have something to cut back from. And you can see that they increased in interest rate to 2.5%, and then the pandemic hit, so they were able to go out to the market and say, okay, we're going to start decreasing interest rate and we're going to save the US economy. But again, the question is, what does it mean for gold traders? In order to find answers, we have to go back in history. If you look on the chart, this is the weekly gold chart, and if you find the date, which was back in 2015, when they raised interest rate the first time since the financial crisis, you can see that prior to the interest rate increase, gold dropped almost 20%, 15% from here, and you can see that this was 18%, so just a percentage point away from the bear market. But as soon as they announced, or they increased the interest rate, gold started to go up. So prior to the interest rate increase, gold was dropping, and as soon as they increased the interest rate or the federal funds rate, gold started to go up thousands of points. If I just zoom out on the chart, you can see that it didn't stop all the way to 2070, which is a huge increase. Obviously, we had the pandemic back in beginning of 2019 or 20. I can't even remember because this pandemic was so shit. But you can see the effect that prior to the interest rate increase, gold was dropping, and as soon as they increased the interest rate, gold started to fly. So for this reason, I will be looking for buying opportunities to build up a strategic long position in gold. And the first guide you can see on the 8-hour chart is this orange trend line. If I go down to the 1-hour time frame, let's see what will be the good buying opportunities or the good buying levels. Now, if you follow this trend line, which we only use it as a guide because, trend lines are not always reliable. They usually break, but we can still use it as a guide. But what's more accurate than trend lines is Fibonacci, weekly pivot levels, and also the closing prices, highs, closing, opens, and lows, whether it's weekly, daily. Trust me, they work as magic. So this was the moment or the day when they increased the interest rate with 25 basis points, and the reaction was significant, massive impulse move. And as soon as things started to come down, gold started to give us this bull flag pattern. We had many good buying opportunities over the week with the theme, but unfortunately at the end on Friday, gold just decided to break this nice support level at 1930. But this bull flag pattern is still valid because the bottom trend line hasn't been invalidated. But chances are good that this trend line is going to break because trend lines usually break. So good buying opportunities, which I will be eyeballing all week, are going to be 1916. Well, obviously first this trend line to see how market or price is reacting to this bull flag pattern, but if it breaks, then the next one will be 1916, 1906, and if everything fails, the last resort will be a double bottom scenario if price comes down all the way to 1895. This is the last support level where I will be looking for buy opportunities. If price comes back lower than this, then I'm going to shift my view to bearish in the short term, because remember that it could easily come back down to 1815 because the war is still ongoing in Ukraine. So Russia has invaded Ukraine, and uncertainty is still elevated. But if they come to an agreement for any reason, hopefully I'm wishing that they come to an agreement and they end the war. Now this is one of the biggest events which could stop gold rising. And also the other thing which I have to mention is inflation. Now inflation isn't going to go away, but if inflation, the rate of change, is slowing down, that could signal to the market that okay, we have some breathing space, and that could cause gold price to drop. So the two key events, if they end the war in Ukraine or inflation starts to slow down. Inflation won't go away, it will stay with us in 2022 and 23. But these are the two key reasons which could favor for sellers on the gold market. So as I said, these are the main support levels where I will be looking for buy opportunities: 1916, 1906, and if everything else fails, we still have the opportunity for a nice juicy double bottom. You can see this was the level at 1895 where price stepped in, they increased the interest rate, and boom, it went all the way back up to 1950, which is a huge increase. So I know it's a bit too wide because we have 3 possible buying opportunities. This is what I say, that be smart, reduce the risk, because any of these levels could be a nice bottom and we don't know where is going to be the dip. So make sure that you manage risk. I will be placing only half the risk I usually take, so maybe 2.5 lots, maximum 4, because it's still within my risk tolerance level. I will be focusing exclusively on buying opportunities at these levels. Now if price comes back down below this level, I will shift my stance into a short-term selling opportunity, because if I go back on the chart, you can see that 1850 is still a valid level that price could easily drop. But let's not rush into the future, because these levels didn't even got retested yet. So what I will be looking for is buying opportunities at these levels. Now, if you're unsure about how to proceed next week with the buying opportunities, and if you don't know how to analyze the market, you can copy my chart as it is, because I give you the exact support levels where I will be looking for buying opportunities. Or the other thing you can do is, because we do live stream every single day with the team, we trade gold, US 30 and some major currency pairs. The other thing you can do is tune into one of these live streams, and maybe if we see any good buying opportunities, you can just copy my trades. And if it's still not enough and you feel lost, there's still a solution, because I do morning briefings every single day to my team where I draw all the possible scenarios on the gold market, major currency pairs and US 30. So we do morning briefings every single day where I show my view on the market fundamentally and technically. I talk about economics and technical analysis, and I also send out the charts into the Discord group, marking every single buying levels or selling levels depending on the asset or the currency. So you have 2 options. You can tune into the free live streams, or if you want guidance and help and daily setups, then you can join the community, which is fantastic. All you have to do is go to alphafx.eu, select one of the plans and become member of the community. And this is what you get: daily analysis and setups, morning briefings. We have a wonderful Discord with many analysts sharing their views on the market. So you have many options to smash trading next week. I hope you enjoyed the forecast and analysis for the gold USD spot market this week. See you Monday at 1 p.m. UK time for the live stream. This is the Alpha FX.